I just think the whole thing is so sad. I mean, first, the public market's been incredibly good to Tesla and Elon Musk. And the notion that all these the short sellers have been wrong consistently. And that has been fantastic for the stock. So being mad at them strikes me as completely pointless. But I think the other thing here is he should have been very happy about that settlement. There's a court review going on right now, and I can see a very strong argument for saying that given the billions of dollars involved in the swing, that the settlement was in fact exceptionally generous to Tesla and to Elon. And if I were he, I would be keeping a super low profile. This whole thing is just not going to end well if he keeps going this way.
Yeah, Mike, Tesla's now hunting for a chairman and a couple of independent board members under the terms of that settlement. If you're the next chairman of Tesla and Elon's tweeting like this, what do you do coming in?
Well, I mean, Roger's right. You've got to rein him in, right? This is not smart on his part. I will say, from a one contrarian perspective, Tesla doesn't spend a lot of money marketing, and a lot of that is because of Elon's persona, his profile. So, the company does benefit in the dimension that he is their marketing department, and it works for them. So you got to give him that, but otherwise, it's really not a smart move.
Mike, you work with so many founder CEOs. You've invested in so many companies, including Elastic. And when you look at this kind of performance of someone like Elon Musk, who's been celebrated for so many years as a genius founder CEO, how does it make you think as an investor about the importance of bringing in professional management, maybe not allowing founders to continue to run companies?
It's a very fine line. Let's be honest, our industry, the technology industry, is based on extraordinary founders, the Elons, the Jeff Bezos, the Steve Jobs. And so as an investor, you have to surround them possibly with folks that can help them professionalize, but you don't want to muzzle them. It is that sort of irreverence that they have, which allows them to create things that are unthinkable, like Tesla, like Apple, like Amazon, and hopefully like Elastic today.
So should there be a discount, Roger, in the stock then to account? I mean, maybe this is the stock and where it's trading now is the discount, but should there be a discount for that? For the notion that a founder can be there, that you need a founder, that it's actually good for the company, but you have the possible side effect of the founder going rogue sometimes.
Well, I think this is a really important question, how the market's going to treat this. Public investors have made Tesla's brand. I think Mike's point is really important, that Elon has built this extraordinary brand around Tesla. And the public market's played a huge role in that. And it's been incredibly cheap marketing. It's been amazing brand building. And the notion that he's dissing the public market at this point in time, right as they have, stuck with him through a tough manufacturing transition, I think is insane. I don't know what investors are going to do about this. I mean, the cars are still really cool. People really like them. But this kind of behavior, I don't know Elon Musk, but if I did, I would take him aside and just say, hey, look, my friend, you can do better than this. This is nuts what you're doing now.
I think a couple people have tried that. Mike, I wonder how far Elon can push this until it becomes an issue for the brand itself. I mean, at a certain point, do you think twice about driving a car built by a guy who takes these kinds of risks?
To a degree, but I think fundamentally consumers don't care that much about who the CEO is. I think they maybe look at it. I do think he has to build good product. They've had some quality issues, and he's got to build enough of them. But look, he's testing the limits of what he can do. We have a president that tests the limits of what you can do on Twitter. He's going to go right up to the edge. I think he's a smart enough guy that he's going to pull back. But some of these moves are definitely testing the boundaries of what's appropriate.
You sit on a lot of boards. How powerful is any individual board member to actually pull the CEO aside and say, you're nuts, put a muzzle on it, take a temporary break from Tesla?
I think these days, particularly for very strong founder-led companies, it's very difficult for any individual board member to reel folks in.
Even if it's an independent board member, i.e. not his brother, let's say, or a former CFO of another company that they bought?
It's a collective job. The board has to work together and reel him in, but one member, no matter who they are, has a very hard time reeling in a founder like Elon.
Roger, curious what you think about that issue. You've written and spoken so much about Facebook and the responsibility responsibility of that company's board and of that organization to sort of rein in its power. What should Musk's board be doing right now, and how should other boards be watching this as a case study?
To my mind, Silicon Valley's got a bunch of issues. The cult of founders has, I think, become a problem. I mean, I'm really with Mike that there's no question that great founders make great startups. But once a company is in the public market, once it begins to mature, it has other responsibilities. And you need to have in the team people who can fulfill those responsibilities. And really importantly, you need to have checks somewhere in the system. But increasingly, Silicon Valley companies have two classes of stocks so that the founders retain control and nobody has any leverage. And that whole thing, whether it's just being afraid of the personality of the CEO or actually being blocked by the two classes of stock, many of these companies really don't have any governance to speak of. And we can see the problems. I mean, at Facebook, you saw the issue relative to their Washington guy being at the hearings and the enormous problems that's creating in the dreadful response of some of the executives. This sort of stuff it's out there because these companies aren't used to having anybody criticize them. They're not very good at hearing constructive criticism, embracing it, and making the future better than the past. But we're going to find out whether there is any form of control or not. I mean, right now, it doesn't look good.